Hey guys, in this video I want to talk about collecting video games, especially the older ones like Nintendo, Super Nintendo, um, PlayStation, just the old retro style video games, and if it's worth collecting games like that or using emulation. And so here's my take on it. A lot of people have made videos before me. I mean, it's not like there's not a lot of videos on YouTube where people talk about this kind of stuff. There's probably hundreds of videos and whatnot. But I thought I would make a video and just share my opinion on it. I grew up playing the Nintendo when I was a kid. I was born in 1986. And some of my favorite Nintendo games were Super Mario Brothers, 1, 2, and 3, Contra, Metal Gear, and RC Pro-Am, Captain Skyhawk, and there's probably a couple other ones, but those were some really big ones that stuck with me. Oh, and Rad Racer was another one. And what happened was, when we were younger, I would play those, and then when the new system came out, I would sell the old one so we'd have money to buy a new one. And then we'd sell that one, then get a new one, sell that, get a new one. So we never really kept any of our systems, we never kept any of the games. We always used the money we could get from that to buy the next one. Because let's face it, a lot of us didn't have a lot of money back then growing up. And I didn't have a job. So I had a few games growing up, not a lot, but I played the heck out of them, and it was a lot of fun. Nowadays, there's a lot of people that are collecting the older games and consoles because a lot of it is nostalgia. A lot of people like going back to their hot childhood. It brings back a lot of good memories. You know, putting that cartridge in the game machine, blowing on it. A lot of people liked that, and that's what gave them a lot of fun. So a lot of people now are collecting a lot of this stuff again. Unfortunately, a lot of the games today are super expensive, even on eBay or whatever. They're like at least $20, Nintendo games and Super Nintendo games. But recently they came out with this, it's like a console, but it's not like, your typical Xbox One or your PS4. It's called the Retron 5, and it allows you to play, I think it's like 9 or 10 systems. And you can play your old Nintendo games, your Super Nintendo games, Genesis, all those, Game Boy Advance, whatever. And it upscales it all to HDMI. There's an HDMI cable that you can hook up to your new TV. Because if you buy the older consoles, you really need to get an older TV, like a CRT TV, to really experience the best quality that you want. Because if you hook it up to an HD TV, it doesn't look really pretty, because those games weren't meant to be played on that kind of a TV. Now, so the Retron 5 is kind of like emulation, just like from your computer, except it allows you to put that cartridge in, and it's really just gives you that like living room experience where it's on the big screen, whatever. So my opinion is this. I think if I was going to do it, and I've been thinking about it, I would probably get the Retron 5, which is probably, I think it's like $110, $120 now on eBay with free shipping. And I would buy maybe like 5 or 10 of the best Nintendo games, the best Super Nintendo games, the best Genesis games. And keep it to like, 20 or 30 games. Just the ones that you really like, the ones that aren't super expensive. And that would be nice little collections to keep it nice and small. Because what happens is people go overboard and they buy it. They want like everything. And this is collector completist mentality where it gets out of control and it'll really hit your wallet big time. And not a lot of us have tons of money either to blow. So that's what I would do. But in the meantime, while you're kind of building up that collection and those favorite games that you want for the Retron 5, you can buy these USB controllers for really cheap now. Like, I think it's like $5 or $10. You can get these online through like Amazon or eBay. And this is a Super Nintendo, just like the regular Super Nintendo controller, but it's USB. You can plug it right into your laptop. And they also got a Nintendo one. You got the USB port. And you can just plug that into your laptop, and you can play all the Nintendo and Super Nintendo games that you want. And that's a really great way to experience those old games again without spending a fortune, you know. And so that's a good way to do it. But I just thought I'd share my opinion on it. I think as far as like the PlayStation 1, again, you can hook up a PS3 controller to your laptop, and you can use that and play old PS1 games on your computer. You can do Nintendo 64 games on your computer. When it gets into like the PS2, you really need a really pretty good fast computer to be able to emulate those games. So I think probably having a PS2 system would be a good idea, and using component cables along with a Wii, because a Wii can actually allow you to play GameCube games, but a Wii you can use component cables, which will give you a lot better video quality on your HD TV. Because if you try to buy component cables for your GameCube, you're going to look for like $100 to $200. I know, it's ridiculous, but that's how much they cost. And so it makes more sense getting a Wii, a regular original Wii, using component cables, improving the video quality, and being able to play all your GameCube games. Because I have a GameCube system actually, but the video quality isn't very good, especially when you hook it up to your HD TV. So I think if you got a regular Wii and a PS2 would be perfect for those PS2 games, because there's a lot of good PS2 games out there. And they're pretty cheap. And actually, most of the models of the PS2 can play the PS1 games as well. So you're pretty much all set with that. And then, as far as the other things, like I said, you could emulate it. But I think it's kind of cool, the fact that you can get a Retron 5, you know, you can put it in your living room with your other consoles. And then, like I said, I'm thinking of just having a small collection of some of the best Nintendo, Super Nintendo, and Sega Genesis games. And maybe Game Boy Advance and Game Boy Color. And Game Boy games. And, you know, keeping it small, compact, and that would be pretty cool. Pretty awesome. Because, you know, let's face it, a lot of people watch these videos on YouTube, and these people have amazing, humongous collections, and that's cool and everything, but not all of us are super rich, and not all of us have tons and tons of room. So I think if you have like a small collection that's really good, that's nice to have. And so I don't know, what do you guys think? Tell me your opinions, if you have any. Do you play older games? Do you emulate on your computer? I think it's pretty neat that there's these games available, and that, you know, they're preserving them, because probably in the future you don't know if those machines aren't going to work anymore, or those cartridges aren't going to work anymore. But I think just keeping a nice collection, but keeping it small, and only really buying what you want to play too, you know. That's what I'm trying to do as well myself, is only buy games that I actually will play, not just for the sake of having them, to say, hey, look what I have, you know. And, you know, I don't want to brag, I don't want to do that, but just being able to get the games that you like and enjoying the time that you can play them. And I think that's what it really should be. That's what collecting should be, you know. And I mean, because a lot of people just want tons and all of the games, and they're just going to sit on your shelf. You're not really going to play with them. And really, you should be buying games that you want to play. So, with that, if you liked the video, please like and subscribe, and I'll catch you guys in my next video.